Scientists have discovered a new way to search and begin searching for them in the galaxy. In the past, many people believed that born on planets, but didn't think about there could be life on the moons of planets. Astronomers always look planets locked in the habitable zones of those stars and ignore the surroundings of these planets. There are many satellites of different sizes. These moons orbit the planet, like our moon. But the moon didn't give birth to life. Can life be conceived on extraterrestrial satellites? Scientists, why did you suddenly change this view? What is their reason? The answer lies on a few moons in the solar system. February 2024. The British New Scientist website reports. Professor of Astronomy, Columbia University, David Kipping says, extraterrestrial satellites may be more suitable because they can cause the planets to wobble, create a stable climate, just like the moon does to the Earth. As of June 2025, scientists have confirmed the number of exoplanets is 5,000. What hasn't been confirmed could be hundreds of billions of grams. They are all in our galaxy. Some exoplanets are like our own Earth. We're in the habitable zone of our star, and look for moons around these planets. It has become the focus of astronomers' future work because some of the extraterrestrial satellites exist. Why do scientists want to increase their observation targets? Because scientists have made a new breakthrough in the solar system found on at least 3 satellites. The potential for life. They are Europa, Enceladus, and Titan. Because through the launch probe, after probing these satellites, the discovery of Jupiter's 2 large moons, subsurface oceans exist on both 2 and Ganymede. And here's what's important. April 7th, 2025. A new study is published in the journal Planetary Science. Saturn's largest moon. Some form of life may have existed on Titan long ago. Comes from observatory staff in the Atacama According to the slightest detector, the probe data sent back simulated the methane lake environment on Titan. It turned out that certain organic molecules capable of spontaneously forming because there are more than 50 on Titan composed of lakes. Researchers are studying these lakes. A large number of propene molecules were found in This is an ethylene-based organism, essential substance. This shows that methane life may have already existed on Titan. It's just that they're tiny, not many. This significant discovery excited scientists. Unexpectedly, the solar system there are so many strange moons, so the scientists decided target locked on a satellite outside the solar system. That is also it. Planets and moons in the habitable zones. What is the greatest difference between them? Don't look at the moon and the Earth. In the habitable zone of the sun. In fact, the difference between the two is very large. The first is that the formation environment and material composition are different. Matter consists of a metallic core, veins and terrains composed of silicate minerals. The moon is mainly composed of silicate minerals. Its internal structure is relatively simple. It's not as stratified as the Earth. Secondly, the attractive force environment and orbital characteristics are different. His orbital properties mainly dominated by the attractive forces of the rotation speed and tilt angle, causing day and night to alternate on the surface and seasonal changes. But satellites are different. Satellites mainly orbit planets. His orbital properties are dominated by the planet's attractive forces. They're orbiting the planet. They go around the star with the planets. And the third is that the atmosphere and the climate system in the habitable zone of their stars. If your own conditions are suitable, there may be an atmosphere. The atmosphere blocks some cosmic rays and ultraviolet light from protecting life on planetary surfaces. Satellite general, it's very difficult to have a planet with a stable atmosphere. Because the attractive force of the satellite is weak gas. If you only look at our Earth-Moon system, it seems that it is not easy to conceive life on satellites. But the problem lies in the quantity. Scientists have discovered some massive planets. There may be dozens or even hundreds of satellites. For example, the number of moons of Jupiter is as high as 90 grams. 2025. The International Astronomical Union has added 128 new moons. The total number of satellites reached 270. Certainly, these new satellites are smaller in size. Well, in theory, if a planet is big enough, it is possible to have multiple large satellites. If the planet is in the star's habitable zone, the region where these satellites are greatly increases the likelihood of conceiving life. After all, there are many satellites. The probability that one of these satellites will also be greatly improved. So that's it. Finding habitable satellite is also very important. So here's the problem. Livable satellites are extremely rare in the universe. It's fairly common. To figure this out, What types of planets have astronomers simulated? It can accommodate a satellite, and among the 5,000 multiple exoplanets, searching for the possible existence of a satellite is in our solar system. Satellites considered to have potentially habitable conditions is only according to the proportion of the solar system the Milky Way has. The number of satellites with potentially habitable hundreds of billions. It's just that the satellites don't shine. Humans have a hard time observing them. However, the results of scientists when a massive planet is further away from its star, the more satellites he has, closer to the star, the fewer satellites there are. The most obvious example is our solar system. The 4 planets closest to the Sun are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Mercury and Venus have no moons. The Earth has a satellite. Mars has 2 moons. So why is that? Because the closer you are to the star, the attractive force of the star sucks small moons away. To the surprise of scientists, some moons are even farther from the stellar transition zone. It might still be fit for life. It's very easy to ignore a problem. That's a massive planet, usually farther from the star. Like Jupiter is 780 million kilometers from the Sun. Saturn is 1.4 billion kilometers from the Sun. For the satellites around them to have a chance to migrate, to be closer to the planet. Because of these star is not in the habitable zone of the star. They're very far away from the star. Receive very little sunlight. Surface temperature is relatively low. Its livability becomes less and less likely. So the only chance for satellites to be habitable is to get closer to the planet. Because of the tides of the planet, the influence of heating on satellite temperature from the star. So astronomers think, in the Milky Way galaxy, the number of potentially habitable planets is at the number of habitable satellites may be even higher. Some of them are in the habitable home of stars, but most satellites are around planets other than habitable zones. For now, humanity's research on exosatellites is just getting started. A potential migratory satellite has not been found yet. I believe this situation will not last long. Once we confirm the existence of the first extrasolar migratory satellite, will open further